Welcome, fellow traveler. Please make yourself entirely comfortable. Adjust your pillows, let your shoulders drop, and take a slow, deep breath in and out. Have you ever felt that the weight of the world is simply too heavy to carry? That your daily worries are expanding, taking up too much space in your mind? Tonight, we are going to change your perspective. We are going to embark on a tranquil, majestic journey through the cosmos, exploring scales and sizes that completely break the human imagination. As we travel further out into the dark, velvety expanse of space, you will watch your earthly problems shrink, becoming smaller and smaller, until they are nothing but tiny, insignificant atoms drifting in the cosmic wind. You do not need to understand complex physics or memorize numbers. You only need to close your eyes, listen to the sound of my voice, and allow your mind to float away into the boundless, peaceful infinite. For thousands of years, humanity looked up at the night sky and believed that our small blue planet was the center of everything. We looked at the shimmering silver dots of light and imagined they were just small lamps hung on a dark ceiling, rotating gently around our world. Space seemed intimate, close, and small. But as our eyes grew sharper and our telescopes reached further into the dark, a beautiful and humbling truth was revealed. The universe is unimaginably vast. It is a place of grand, sweeping scales that the human brain was never evolved to fully comprehend. Yet, there is a profound peace in this realization. By understanding just how tiny we are, we free ourselves from the heavy burdens of daily life. Tonight, we will trace the steps of this discovery. We will slowly rise from our beds, float through the atmosphere, and drift past the planets, stars, and galaxies, finding ultimate tranquility in the sheer, magnificent emptiness of the cosmos. But where does our journey actually begin? Let us start by looking softly at the edge of our own world. Imagine you are safely nestled inside a gentle, weightless capsule, drifting slowly upward into the sky. A common myth we often tell ourselves is that space is an incredibly distant frontier, a place that requires a lifetime to reach. But the soothing reality is that the boundary of space, known as the Kármán line, is just 62 miles above your resting head. If you could drive your car straight up at a normal highway speed, you would be in the vacuum of space in merely an hour. Picture this vivid illustration: the familiar, comforting bright blue of the afternoon sky, slowly deepening into a rich, velvety indigo, and then seamlessly fading into absolute, silent black. The atmosphere that protects us is incredibly thin. If the Earth were the size of an apple, the entire sky would be as thin as its delicate skin. Feel a sense of comfort in knowing that the magnificent expanse of the universe begins right at our doorstep, wrapping us in a quiet embrace. As we float higher, leaving the Earth behind, we look toward our closest celestial companion, the Moon. It hangs there in the dark, a glowing pearl of silver light. The distance between the Earth and the Moon is about 238,000 miles. It is a number that sounds vast, but let us paint a clearer picture in your mind. Imagine gathering all the other planets in our entire solar system: Mercury, Venus, Mars, the massive gas giants, Jupiter and Saturn, along with Uranus and Neptune. Now, imagine lining them up, side by side, like giant, colorful marbles. Miraculously, every single one of those massive planets would fit perfectly in the empty space between Earth and the Moon, with just a little room to spare. This visualization alone brings a sense of awe. The space around us is wonderfully empty and peaceful. Let this vast, quiet distance between our home and the Moon remind you of how much space you have to breathe, to rest, and to simply be. Let us pause for a moment and look closer at the Moon itself. We often see it as a small, glowing coin in the night sky, but consider its true majestic scale. If you were to unroll the entire surface of the moon, laying it out flat like a beautiful silver map, it would be roughly the size of the entire continent of Asia. Imagine flying silently over massive silent craters, vast dark plains formed by ancient lava, and towering mountains that have never felt the touch of wind or rain. It is a quiet, frozen world, locked in an eternal slumber. There is a common misconception that the moon is just a floating rock, but it is a grand, sweeping landscape of absolute silence. Picture yourself gliding over these silent grey mountains, feeling completely weightless. There is no sound here, no wind, just the soft, eternal glow of distant starlight reflecting off the ancient dust, inviting you into a deep, undisturbed state of rest. Now turn your gaze toward the warm, life-giving center of our cosmic neighborhood, the Sun. It seems small from Earth, just a bright disk we can hide behind our thumb. But let us unravel the true scale of our star. The Sun is located 93 million miles away. To help your mind grasp this, imagine you are boarding a commercial passenger jet. You find a comfortable seat, buckle in, and close your eyes as the plane takes off. If this plane flew at its top cruising speed, non-stop, toward the Sun, it would take you over 20 years of continuous, uninterrupted flight just to reach it. 20 years of gliding through the dark, quiet vacuum. This immense stretch of nothingness is a protective ocean. It keeps us safe, warming us perfectly from afar. As you visualize this endless, peaceful journey through the dark, let your heartbeat slow down, matching the steady, eternal rhythm of the cosmos. As our imaginary journey brings us closer to the Sun, we must confront its sheer, overwhelming size. It is not just a bright light, it is a roaring ocean of golden energy. Let us clear away the myth that the Earth is a large planet. Next to the Sun, our world is merely a grain of blue sand. Picture a massive hollow glass sphere, the exact size of our Sun. Now imagine taking our Earth, oceans and mountains and all, and dropping it inside. You could drop 1 million Earths into that sphere, and you would still have room left over. 1 million entire worlds swallowed by a single star. Think of all the history, all the bustling cities, all the oceans, and all the worries on our planet. They all fit 1 million times over into just one local star. In the face of such a colossal scale, whatever is weighing on your mind tonight is infinitely small. Let it melt away in the warm, golden light of the Sun. But what lies on the surface of this magnificent star? As we safely observe from a distance, we see solar flares and prominences slowly rising like glowing red ribbons into the blackness of space. These eruptions are beautifully hypnotic to watch in slow motion. Imagine a wave of fire arcing gracefully out into the void. But look closer at the scale of this wave. A single arc of this glowing plasma is often 10 times the size of our entire planet. Picture the Earth, our little blue marble, passing through this loop of fire like a tiny bird flying beneath a massive bridge. The sheer power and scale of these events are beyond human comprehension, yet they happen in absolute silence. In the vacuum of space, even the most massive explosions make no sound at all. Let this image of silent, majestic power soothe you. Even the most energetic forces in the universe unfold in a quiet, graceful dance, far away from your peaceful rest. Moving gracefully outward from the Sun, we encounter the inner planets. Let us drift past Mercury and Venus, and then pass our own Earth, heading toward Mars. Here, we encounter another fascinating scale that challenges our earthly views. On Earth, We marvel at Mount Everest, a towering peak that touches the sky. But Mars hides a sleeping giant. Imagine Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the entire solar system. If you were to pick up this volcano and gently place it onto a map of Earth, it would completely cover the country of France. Its peak reaches 16 miles into the Martian sky, nearly 3 times the height of Everest. Picture yourself standing at the base of this ancient, silent mountain, looking up at a gentle slope that extends beyond the horizon, blending into a dusty, peach-colored sky. It is a monument of incredible stillness. No magma has flowed here for millions of years. It simply rests, waiting, wrapped in the quiet chill of the red planet. Our journey continues outward, carrying us into the realm of the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Pop culture and old myths have taught us to imagine this place as a chaotic, dangerous minefield of tumbling rocks, where spacecraft must constantly dodge and weave to survive. But the tranquil reality of space is far more forgiving. In truth, the asteroid belt is overwhelmingly empty. If you were to stand on a large asteroid in this belt, the nearest neighboring rock would be hundreds of thousands of miles away. You would look out into the endless dark and likely see nothing but distant stars. The scale of emptiness here is profound. Picture a vast, silent ocean, with only a few lonely islands scattered millions of miles apart. This immense space means there is no collision, no chaos, only a slow, peaceful orbit around the Sun. Let the grand emptiness of this space clear your mind of any clutter, leaving only peace. As we drift further into the dark, a massive sphere begins to dominate our view. We have reached Jupiter, the undisputed king of our solar system. The sheer volume of Jupiter is staggering. It is a world of swirling, pastel-colored clouds, bands of cream, mocha, and rust slowly flowing in endless storms. But how large is it really? Imagine the Earth again. You could fit over 1,300 Earths inside Jupiter. But the most striking illustration of its size lies within its most famous feature, the Great Red Spot. This beautiful crimson eye is a storm that has been raging for hundreds of years. Look closely at its swirling, hypnotic center. If you were to drop our entire planet into that single storm, the Earth would be swallowed whole, with room to spare. Our entire world is smaller than a single storm on a neighboring planet. As you visualize this, feel the weight of your day dissolving into the vast, swirling clouds of this gas giant. Deeper still into the outer solar system, we find the jewel of the cosmic ocean, Saturn. Its rings are a sight that brings immediate wonder and calm. They are composed of billions of shimmering ice particles, reflecting the distant sunlight like a halo of crushed diamonds. The scale of these rings is a beautiful paradox. From edge to edge, the main rings span a distance so wide that they would nearly stretch the entire way from the Earth to the Moon. Yet, for all their unimaginable width, they are incredibly thin. In some places, these majestic rings are only about 30 feet thick. Imagine a structure as wide as the distance to the Moon, but as thin as a 2-story house. It is a delicate, fragile masterpiece suspended in the dark. Picture yourself floating just inches above this icy highway, watching the glittering ice crystals slowly tumble and glide in perfect harmony. It is a vision of perfect, natural balance, lulling you deeper into sleep. Let us glide further into the deep, quiet twilight of our solar system, past the beautiful rings of Saturn and into the realm of the ice giants, Uranus and Neptune. Out here, the sun is no longer a blinding source of warmth. It is merely the brightest star in a deep, black sky. The scale of distance here is mesmerizing. It took the Voyager spacecraft over a decade of traveling at incredible speeds just to reach Neptune. Imagine a world entirely covered in a deep, sapphire blue ocean of fluids and gases, whipped by supersonic winds that you cannot hear. It is a quiet, frozen solitude. There is a profound comfort in this remote darkness. In this distant corner of our system, time seems to slow down. The planets take centuries to complete a single orbit around the Sun. Allow the slow, deliberate pace of these cold, beautiful giants to slow your own breathing, syncing your rhythm with the deep time of the outer planets. Continuing into the freezing dark, we cross into the Kuiper Belt, the home of Pluto. For many years, we held on to the myth that Pluto was just a boring, lifeless grey rock floating at the edge of nowhere. But when our cameras finally reached it, a breathtaking landscape was revealed. We found towering mountains made of solid water ice and vast, smooth plains composed of frozen nitrogen, shaped like a giant, perfect heart. Imagine standing on this distant, twilight world. The gravity is so low you feel as light as a feather. You look down and see the heart of Pluto, a majestic glacier the size of Texas, glowing softly in the dim starlight. It is a serene, untouched winter wonderland that has remained peaceful for billions of years. Let the cool, tranquil imagery of this distant ice world wash over you, cooling any remaining tension in your body, leaving you refreshed and calm. Let us now reflect on a pivotal moment in human history, an illustration of our scale that changed how we view ourselves forever. In 1990, the Voyager 1 spacecraft, drifting billions of miles away at the very edge of our solar system, turned its camera backward to take one final picture of home. In that vast, dark photograph, caught in a scattered ray of sunlight, was a single, tiny pixel of pale blue light. That pale blue dot was Earth. Every human who ever lived, every king, every peasant, every joy, and every sorrow existed on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Think about the profound beauty of that image. The things that stress us, the deadlines, the conflicts, they all occur on a microscopic blue dot floating in a vast, silent ocean of darkness. Embracing this truth does not make our lives meaningless. It makes them a rare, beautiful spark in the infinite night. Rest your mind on that pale blue dot and feel perfectly safe. But Voyager 1 has not truly left our solar system yet. There is a boundary much further out, a scale that breaks the imagination even further. Surrounding our entire planetary system is a massive spherical shell called the Oort cloud. It is a collection of trillions of ancient, icy comets, gently drifting in the absolute dark. Imagine a giant, invisible bubble holding our solar system inside. If the distance from the Earth to the Sun was just 1 inch, the Oort cloud would still be nearly a mile away. It is so vast that it takes light itself over a year to travel from one side to the other. Picture yourself floating peacefully among these slowly tumbling blocks of ancient ice. They are silent sentinels, guarding our solar system, moving at a glacial, hypnotic pace in the deep freeze of interstellar space. Let the immense, quiet border of our home lull you into a state of deep security and rest. Now we must leave the comfort of our solar system entirely and step into the true void of interstellar space. Our destination is the very closest star to our Sun, Proxima Centauri. It sits at a distance of about 4 light-years away. To understand this scale, let us imagine walking. If you were to start walking right now, at a comfortable, steady pace, without ever stopping to sleep or eat, it would take you over 200 million years to reach Proxima Centauri. 200 million years of walking, just to reach the house of our closest neighbor in the galaxy. The space between the stars is overwhelmingly vast. It is a dark, silent ocean where nothing happens for millions of years. This incredible isolation means that the stars are safe in their own solitary bubbles. Allow the sheer emptiness of this interstellar sea to fill your mind, wiping away any lingering thoughts of a crowded, noisy world. As we journey deeper into the stellar neighborhood, we look for a familiar face, Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky. We often see it sparkling like a diamond on a crisp winter night, but its true scale is blindingly beautiful. Sirius is more than twice as massive as our Sun and shines 25 times brighter. Imagine flying a dark, protective ship near this radiant blue-white giant. The light is so pure, so intense, it looks like a drop of liquid crystal burning in the void. Yet, despite its enormous power, it sits peacefully in the vacuum, its light taking over 8 years to travel across the quiet dark, just to gently kiss your eyes on Earth. The universe is filled with these silent lighthouses, burning brightly in the cold, guiding our imaginations through the dark. Picture the cool, pristine blue light of Sirius washing over you, cleansing your mind of all remaining shadows. But stars do not last forever, nor do they appear from nowhere. They are born in massive nurseries called nebulae. Let us visit one of the most famous and breathtaking structures ever witnessed, the Pillars of Creation. These are towering clouds of interstellar gas and dust, glowing from within like warm, cosmic lanterns. They look like majestic fingers reaching into the heavens. To understand their scale, we must abandon our earthly measurements. From the bottom of a pillar to its top is a distance of over 4 light years. That means a beam of light, the fastest thing in the universe, takes 4 entire years just to climb from the base to the summit of this cloud. Imagine floating beside these colossal, slow-moving structures. They appear perfectly still, frozen in time. Yet inside them, baby stars are slowly igniting in a process that takes millions of years. It is a picture of ultimate patience. Let the slow, ancient patience of the cosmos seep into your bones. Our minds are slowly expanding, getting used to the grand sizes of the universe, but there are stars that make our sun look like a mere spark. Let us travel to the shoulder of the constellation Orion to visit the red supergiant, Betelgeuse. This is a star in the late stages of its life, glowing with a deep, soothing ruby-red hue. It pulsates slowly, like a giant cosmic heart. If we were to magically replace our sun with Betelgeuse, its sheer size would consume everything. It would swallow Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Its outer fiery edge would reach all the way to the orbit of Jupiter. Imagine standing on a hypothetical planet, looking up, and seeing nothing but an infinite wall of soft, glowing red filling the entire sky. The scale is terrifying to the waking mind, but to the sleeping mind, it is a warm, red blanket covering the entire solar system. Feel the gentle, pulsing rhythm of this ancient, dying star, lulling you deeper into relaxation. Yet, even Betelgeuse is not the largest. We must look further, into the constellation of Scutum, to find stars like UY Scuti or Stephenson 2-18, the hypergiants. These are the true titans of our galaxy. Imagine a star so unimaginably huge that if you were to fly that same commercial airplane over its surface, it would take you 1,000 years to circle it just once. 1,000 years of looking down at a rolling sea of glowing plasma. It is a scale that completely shatters human logic. We can only feel it as a sense of awe. Picture yourself floating effortlessly above this infinite golden plain. The horizon stretches out perfectly flat in all directions because the curve of the star is too enormous to see. You are a tiny speck of consciousness hovering over an ocean of light. Let go of your need to control or understand everything. Just surrender to the magnificent, incomprehensible vastness beneath you. Eventually, even these massive titans must meet their end. When a giant star exhausts its fuel, it collapses in on itself and explodes in a spectacular supernova. But let us dispel the myth that this is a violent, chaotic event to witness from afar. In the deep vacuum of space, a supernova unfolds in total, perfect silence. Imagine watching a distant star suddenly brighten, outshining its entire host galaxy for a brief, glorious moment. It casts a slow-moving bubble of colorful gas outward, painting the void in shades of neon pink, turquoise, and violet. This expanding cloud of stardust contains the very elements that make up our bodies, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones. You are watching the silent, beautiful recycling of the universe. Feel a deep connection to this cosmic dust. You are not just in the universe, you are made of it. You are the universe, peacefully observing itself. When the most massive stars die, they leave behind something far more mysterious, a black hole. Many people harbor the misconception that black holes are infinitely huge cosmic vacuums, tearing wildly through space, sucking up everything in their path. But the reality is much more elegant and strange. A stellar mass black hole is actually incredibly small in physical size. Imagine taking a star 10 times heavier than our Sun and crushing it down until it is the size of a single city, like Manhattan or London. This tiny, invisible sphere exerts such a powerful gravitational pull that not even light can escape its grasp. Picture a perfectly smooth, dark sphere, entirely silent and still, bending the starlight around it like a piece of cosmic glass. It is a pocket of absolute quiet, a place where time itself slows down to a crawl. Imagine floating safely in orbit around this dark orb, letting its immense gravity slow your racing thoughts until they stop completely. But stellar black holes are just the beginning. At the very center of our own Milky Way galaxy lies a supermassive black hole named Sagittarius A star. It is a sleeping giant, millions of times more massive than our Sun. Yet, it does not destroy our galaxy. It acts as a gentle anchor. Imagine watching a time-lapse of the stars near the center of our galaxy. They move like fireflies dancing around an invisible fire, swinging gracefully around this central point of darkness in perfect, sweeping elliptical orbits. It is a beautiful, harmonious cosmic ballet. The black hole is not a monster, it is the silent conductor of the galactic orchestra. Picture yourself sitting in the grand, cosmic auditorium, watching these brilliant blue and white stars silently tracing beautiful, glowing patterns around the dark center. The rhythm of their dance is ancient and flawless. Let this perfect natural order bring harmony to your tired mind. To truly break our imagination, we must venture out to the farthest reaches of the cosmos to find the ultramassive black holes. Consider the titan known as TON 618. This object is so massive that it simply defies reason. It weighs tens of billions of times more than our Sun. If you were to place TON 618 in our solar system, its dark horizon would swallow the Sun, all the planets, and extend far out into the Oort cloud. It is a sphere of pure blackness so large it would take light weeks to cross from one side to the other. Imagine confronting this absolute void. It is a darkness so profound, so complete, that it absorbs all light, all energy, and all earthly stress. When you look into a void this immense, there is no room left for anxiety. There is only the deep, velvety embrace of nothingness. Allow your consciousness to merge with this absolute dark, feeling perfectly secure in the immense silence of the ultimate void. Let us pull back now, away from the dark centers, and look at the grand structure that we call home, the Milky Way galaxy. It is a sprawling, spiral city of light, spinning slowly in the void. To comprehend its size, consider its width. From one side of the galactic disk to the other, it measures 100,000 light-years across. If you could somehow travel at the speed of light, a speed so fast you could circle the Earth 7 times in one single second, it would still take you 100,000 years to cross our galaxy. Imagine looking down on this magnificent spiral from above. You see glowing arms made of pale blue starlight, winding gracefully outward, wrapped in dark lanes of cosmic dust. It resembles a majestic, glowing whirlpool rotating in a sea of black ink. We live on a quiet, spiral arm in the suburbs of this grand city. Take a deep breath and appreciate the immense, sweeping beauty of our galactic home. Within this sprawling galactic city, how many stars are there? It is easy to say there are hundreds of billions, but the human mind struggles with such numbers. Let us use an illustration to ground this scale. Imagine visiting the most beautiful, expansive sandy beach you have ever seen. You pick up a handful of dry sand and let it slowly slip through your fingers. Think of how many thousands of tiny grains are just in your hand. Now think of all the sand on that beach. Now, imagine all the beaches on the entire planet Earth, and all the deserts, every single grain of sand combined. Our Milky Way galaxy holds roughly that same number of stars. Every star is a sun, many with their own planets, their own silent mountains, their own dark oceans. The abundance of the universe is staggering. Picture this endless ocean of golden sand, sparkling in the dark. It is a vision of infinite possibility, lulling your mind into a state of absolute wonder and peaceful surrender. Even our massive Milky Way is just a single island in the cosmic ocean. If we look out into the intergalactic void, we see our closest major neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. It is a stunning, elongated smudge of light in our night sky. But that is only an illusion of distance. Andromeda is actually significantly larger than our own galaxy, containing perhaps 1 trillion stars. It sits 2.5 million light-years away. Imagine the light entering your eyes from Andromeda tonight. That light began its journey over 2 million years ago, long before modern humans ever walked the Earth. It has traveled in absolute silence across the cold, empty intergalactic void just to reach you right now. It is a profound, ancient whisper from the deep. Picture this magnificent, glowing disk slowly approaching us in a dance that will take billions of years to complete. The timescales here are so vast, they make time itself feel completely still. Pulling our perspective even further back, the galaxies themselves begin to look like tiny particles of dust. We discover that our Milky Way and Andromeda are just members of a small cluster. And this cluster is being pulled along invisible rivers of gravity into a massive supercluster known as Laniakea, which translates to immense heaven in Hawaiian. Imagine looking at a map of Laniakea. It does not look like a collection of stars. It looks exactly like the delicate, branching neurons of a human brain, or the intricate roots of an ancient tree. Our entire galaxy is just a microscopic speck of light flowing along one of these glowing, cosmic veins. The scale is so massive that gravity behaves like flowing water, pulling thousands of galaxies in slow, majestic currents toward a great attractor. Picture yourself floating gently down this river of light, surrounded by billions of galaxies, being carried effortlessly by the gentle, sweeping currents of the cosmos. As we reach the ultimate edge of our vision, we behold the grandest scale of all, the cosmic web. When you zoom out to the scale of billions of light-years, the universe reveals its true, breathtaking architecture. It is not just a random scattering of dots. It is a beautiful, intricate spiderweb of glowing filaments stretching across the infinite dark. Along these filaments are millions of galaxies, glittering like dewdrops on a morning web. And between these threads lie the great cosmic voids, expanses of nothingness so unimaginably vast that light takes hundreds of millions of years to cross them. Imagine standing in the center of the Boötes void. You would look in every direction and see absolute, unbroken blackness. You would not even know that other galaxies existed. Let the profound, silent emptiness of these cosmic voids clear your mind of all remaining thoughts. It is the ultimate blank slate, the perfect quietness necessary for a deep, dreamless sleep. Finally, we reach the absolute limit of what we can see, the edge of the observable universe. It spans 93 billion light-years across. It contains roughly 2 trillion entire galaxies. Trillions of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars, each with countless planets. The numbers cease to have meaning. They dissolve into a pure, abstract feeling of the infinite. Imagine an endless sea of light and dark, expanding forever into the unknown. There is a common fear that such immensity makes us insignificant. But the truth is wonderfully different. In an infinite universe, every point is the center. That means right now, lying in your bed, resting your eyes, you are the exact center of your own observable universe. Everything you have ever known, everything you have ever loved, and every moment of peace you have ever felt is safely cradled right here in the heart of infinity. Feel the quiet power of being the center of it all. Our journey has taken us to the absolute limits of human imagination. We have touched the edge of the atmosphere, flown past silent ice giants, stood in the light of hypergiant stars, and drifted along the majestic glowing rivers of the cosmic web. Now, it is time to gently bring our awareness back through the cosmic voids, past the glowing arms of the Milky Way, drifting smoothly into the warm, golden light of our sun, and softly landing back on our small, pale blue dot. Imagine the vast, magnificent universe above you, acting as a giant, starry blanket, keeping you safe and warm in the cool night. The infinite scales we explored tonight are a reminder that your earthly worries are unimaginably small, mere specks of dust in the grand cosmic wind. Let them go completely. You are made of stardust, resting on a quiet world, floating in a peaceful sea of space. The universe is watching over you. Sleep deeply and drift away into the stars. As our cosmic journey gently comes to a close, take one final deep breath. Feel the solid ground beneath you, the soft pillow cradling your head, and the comforting weight of gravity holding you safe. You have traveled further than any spacecraft, touching the very edges of the infinite, and seen that the universe is not a chaotic, frightening place, but a magnificent, quiet sanctuary. The mind-bending scales that once seemed overwhelming are now a source of deep, abiding peace. Your stresses have been reduced to the size of a single atom, lost in the beauty of the cosmos. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through the stars tonight. If this journey brought you peace, please consider leaving a gentle like, subscribing to our channel, and sharing it with another soul who needs a moment of rest. And tell me in the comments below, which cosmic wonder, which distant star or silent planet will you visit in your dreams tonight? Until next time, close your eyes, embrace the infinite dark, and sleep well.